takes you into the world of a unique prop shop in Dallas. Inside, Robert Videobob Moseley and his talented crew build replicas of iconic movie cars for fanboys who have always wanted to drive the real thing.
One of my favorites is the Delorean Time Machine from Back to the Future. You know, it's real steampunk. It's got a lot of cool hoses and gadgets. It's a lot of fun to build.
My name is Videobob Moseley. I create the coolest movie car replicas you've ever seen.
This is the Delorean Time Machine. This is the most iconic movie vehicle of all time. Back to the Future was one of the highest grossing films of the 80s. Everything works just like it did in the movie. This is the most fun that a nerd can have. I get to live out my fantasies and drive the coolest car ever made. And the best part is, I made it. There's nothing that's more fun than hitting 88 miles an hour in this thing and going through flux dispersal. Everywhere you go in this thing, people are going crazy. They're taking pictures, stopping traffic. Happens everywhere I go. Yeah!
What's up, man?
I'm Videobob.
Videobob, what you got going here?
I have the 1981 Delorean Time Machine from Back to the Future. I bought a DeLorean in 2003. I've always had a love for movie cars, and if you're gonna have a movie car, you might as well have the most iconic movie car of all time, and that is the DeLorean Time Machine.
Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Hey, Paul.
Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
I wanted an expert to check out the DeLorean, so I managed to track down Kevin Pike, the special effects supervisor on Back to the Future. He built the original time machine for the movie, so I am thrilled that he's flown in to take a look at it. What do you think of the rig, huh?
This is absolutely perfect. This is one of the best looking interiors that I've ever seen. It's got every single label properly. It's got all the little details on the lights. The cascade works. Everything about it is just almost absolutely perfect. This car has the neon, the bands of neon that turned on when the car got ready to go into the future. And I've never seen another replica that has that.
What was your inspiration?
We had about 10 people working on the crew for about 10 weeks to make the car.
Right.
But the one bit of information that always came down from production was make sure it looks homemade, like Doc Brown made it in his factory.
Right.
As far as all the replicas that I've had an opportunity to see, this one is the best that I've ever come across. I'm here to tell you that this car that was built by Videobob, the inside, the circuitry, it's brilliant, it's detailed, it has the sound effects, it has the smoke machine, stuff we never even had at that time. It is one of the finest replicas ever made. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Kevin. I appreciate you coming, man.
Meet the man from Dallas
Say you want to see the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
who can help make those dreams come true.
I made my dreams a reality.
Sort of.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
I build DeLorean Time Machine.
And you'd better be here on time to see this. Tuesday at 10 on CBS 11 News.
It takes all his spare time just to find the spare parts.
What's funny about the Mr. Fusion is it's actually a Krupp's coffee grinder. You might have found one of these at a department store in the early 80s. Finding all these parts that are now 25, 30, or 40 years old has been the challenge.
But it's the dedication
Oh, we're out of plutonium, sorry.
to authenticity that ends up turning heads.
You could spend millions of dollars on Ferraris, Lamborghinis. They're not going to get you the attention of a DeLorean Time Machine. My hobby has now become a business, and they're in high demand. I can't build them fast enough.
And his creations are the stuff of movie magic. Each DeLorean Time Machine comes complete with a Mr. Fusion, time circuits, and of course, a flux capacitor.
It's a functional, real driving car. You can drive it around, you can pop in your favorite Huey Lewis cassette, and you can really believe that you're Marty McFly. I've got all the little props, like here's one of the hoverboards from the future. And when you're driving around and you're listening to the theme music and you're going 88 miles an hour, you really feel like you're in the film.
And what kind of reaction does he get when he drives around North Texas in one of these babies?
And when I take this thing out, people go crazy. They chase me down the street to take a picture. I've had them jump out of their car in an intersection and run over to me, try to open the door. I've had girls jump on the hood. I mean, it's the closest thing to being a celebrity that you can get is driving this car. I worked closely with Universal Studios and the people who built the original cars and the people who wrote the movie and became friends with them. And we've got it to the point now that it's wire for wire. It's right on the money.
They have all the buttons. It's set to November 5th, 1955.
Yes.
I love that.
It's perfect.
All right.
The DeLorean Time Machine from Back to the Future. You gotta see this thing in the dark. Pow!
Awesome.
I would have to say that the DeLorean Time Machine is the most attractive of all the movie cars. I don't think there's another vehicle on the planet for any price that gets as much attention as the DeLorean Time Machine. When people see it, they just go crazy.
Now we're going to take it for a spin to see if it drives as good as it looks.
October 26th, 1985. Let's go. This is cooler than the Batmobile, Rick.
The Back to the Future DeLorean Time Machine is my ultimate movie car. I've been building these things for 10 years. I've built over 20 of them, and they just keep getting better. Now, we are the masters of building these, and because it's the 10th year anniversary of Bob's Prop Shop, I've decided to do something really special to celebrate. Let's get this sucker up to 88 miles an hour. Yeah! I became friends with Kevin Pike. He was the original special effects supervisor. I was given some of the original storyboards and sketches and instructions on how they built the original 3 cars that were used in the first Back to the Future films. Remember I told you I was going to bring in the big guns? I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. This is Kevin Pike. This is the dude that built the original time machines for the movie Back to the Future in 1985.
Wow. Nice.
No way.
I started doing special effects as a helper on Jaws, and I've had the benefit of working on many of the big special effects films of the last 3 decades. Return of the Jedi, Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom, Last Starfighter, Jurassic 1, Jurassic 3. Anytime anybody asks me about my involvement with Back to the Future and the DeLorean Time Machine, I light up. We didn't really have a blueprint when we started to build those DeLorean Time Machines, but we had a lot of creativity that we could do because it was always a handmade car that Doc Brown had built. So we would go all over town visiting boneyards, electronic surplus stores, hydraulic parts, all kinds of plumbing, and that's why it's the most iconic movie car today.
A new series, Scream Machines, premieres Tuesday, 23rd of February on D-Max.
This thing is a hobby that turned into a crazy business.
Turning these vintage DeLoreans, a short-lived brand of the early 80s, into so-called time machines is the brainchild of Bob Moseley, a former restaurant owner who, as a fan himself, bought a DeLorean.
The thing about it is if you own a DeLorean, you're going to have to deal with Back to the Future references. So everywhere I went, somebody would say, "Hey, McFly, where's your flux capacitor?" And because I have an engineering background, I built a flux capacitor, I put it in the car, and the reaction of people seeing it was so great that I just kept adding on to the car until eventually you end up here.
Selling the cars for up to $100,000 each, including celebrity customers like San Antonio Spurs guard Tony Parker.
Look at this. This is your car. You have the car from Back to the Future. This is really your car.
It is.
You drive it?
I do.
This is the inside of the car.
I go to practice with it. My teammates, they always make fun of me.
They do. Oh, gee, I wonder why. Do you love the movie? Is that?
Yeah, I love the movies. I'm a big fan of.
Every wire in the car is exactly like it was in the films.
So what do you think? You want to go for a ride?
Am I driving?
No, I'm driving. But I'll let you ride in the passenger seat.
Okay, all right. All right, here we go.
Now let's get this up to 1.21 gigawatts.
Let's see if you bastards can do 90.
I want to see people looking at us.
This thing is a dangerous responsibility because people are so busy trying to take a picture of it. Like, for instance, this guy next to us, he's taking pictures with his phone.
Just think this does work?
Sure, that's my stereo. Let me flip that.
For Nightline, I'm Darren Ravel in Duncanville, Texas.
That was one heck of a ride.
What a ride. I am so glad I bumped into that crazy white-haired dude. But I don't know, he was babbling on about something about gigawatts and 88 miles an hour, so I don't quite know, but we definitely went through some kind of travel time there. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we can turn a wrench
I might have
on
not
this
seen
thing.
some roads there.
I don't know about the flux capacitor, but we can handle this,
I
right?
think I can disassemble this.
So I have this really cool client coming in, Bob. He makes these awesome movie car replicas, and he wants a Back to the Future themed cake for the Fan Expo this weekend. I can't believe he actually showed up at my bakery in his Delorean Time Machine.
Oh, that is so cool! Ah!
For those of you who don't know the movie, it's actually a DeLorean, which is a time machine car. That's awesome!
Hey, Back to the Future fans, come on! I've put together a really special gift for all of the Dallas Back to the Future fans and for you, James. So do you guys want to see this special gift? Yeah. No. Do you guys want to see this special gift? Yeah. What about cake that can time travel? This is the most delicious tire I've ever eaten.
I genuinely can't believe that it looked as good as it looked and tasted as good as it looked.
So there it is. Pull that out. Doc Brown just loaded plutonium in my time machine. I'm Videobob.
All right, a different kind of star power up on the block right now. We've talked about this car. In 1981 DeLorean, it's a Back to the Future time machine. Of course, this is the Mr. Fusion edition. Yep, you made a time machine out of a DeLorean? There it goes.
All right, here we are, Universal Studios. We're about to place our DeLorean time machine right there in that space where the other cars sat for all these years, across from what used to be the Back to the Future ride, which is now the Simpsons. The train from Back to the Future 3 is still there. So we're gonna get the car moved. Yeah. Now, if you want it to be,
You had to start it for me.
there it is, the DeLorean time machine, and its new home next to the train. Gorgeous.